Are you tired of meal services that deliver directly to your door, but then cost you another hour to actually prepare it and get onto the table? If so, I think you're going to love my friends at Factor. They are a delivery service with fully prepared, intake friendly, so keto, macro conscious, low carb, vegan, you name it. They have all of these things in a special menu prepared by dietitians, fresh, never frozen. This is amazing. If you're a busy working mom or you simply need a shortcut, I want you to look no further than Factor. You can go to runliftmompod.com/Factor. Again, that's runliftmompod.com/Factor and use Factor 2020 at checkout for $25 off your first week. Welcome to the Run Lift Mom podcast, where we're talking about running, lifting, and momming, not necessarily in that order. Today, it's going to be a combination of all three because it is a mommy masterclass. A mommy masterclass is where I take the best advice from past as well as some new guests and roll it into one. And this time, the topic is goal setting. We're going to talk about setting goals. Check this out. A 2018 study in the Harvard Business Review revealed that 83% of the population do not have goals. 14% have a plan in mind, but the goals are unwritten, and 3% have goals written down. Did you hear me? Only 3% have their goals written down. That same study found that the 14% of people who have goals are 10 times more successful than those without. 10 times! And the 3% with written goals, you guys, they're 3 times more successful than the 14% who have goals but haven't necessarily written them down. Don't stop there. I know what you're thinking. Okay, I'll write my goals down and I'll be in a position to win. I want you to hear from some of my guests so you can critically think about your own goal setting and not only be someone who writes her goals down, but does it with the right intentions in mind. Without further ado, the many guests from the Run Lift Mom podcast around goal setting. Calculate the moves. That is the awesome advice from season 1, episode 23, when I spoke with Coach Kat from Purple Path Coaching about preparation in goal setting. Preparation, of course, means that we can set the appropriate goals and do them well. Here's Kat.
Simply don't try to do it all at once. So let's take our type A's first, our super mums. They often just want the results right now and they will be a bull at a gate. And when I'm coaching these women, they're like, okay, tell me what I need to do. Just tell me, let's get it done. I'm going to get it done. And I often have to tell them okay, let's just take a break. Let's just slow it down a little bit and calculate the moves. So let's take a marathon. The finish line is like, the goal, right? So super mums know about the finish line. They've got their eyes set on the finish line. They know about the starting line too, and they know everything in between. It's a whole journey to get to that finish line. They know every point along the way, and they get there. The thing is, the marathon doesn't actually start at the starting gate. It starts months prior when you get into some training gear and start those first stretches. So knowing the goals is great. Setting some milestones to get there is awesome. But I always encourage my super mums to just slow it down a little and focus on some prep and quality so that when they cross that finish line, when they achieve their goal, because they will, it's their best time and they do that goal well. So I
love it. That is the perfect metaphor for this show. And I want people to really to hear what you're saying, that when we're achieving big goals, that achievement takes a lot longer than maybe when we, in this case, step up to the starting line. It's that preparation beforehand to make sure that you do it well.
Yeah, exactly. And
we we are continuing with that marathon theme, and I want you to hear Miranda Alcaraz of Street Parking. She was on season 1, episode 54, to discuss More Than Nothing Fitness, and she makes a point, though, with that marathon metaphor, to begin where it's appropriate. Hear from Miranda, and again, she was on season 1, episode 54. All of these shows are linked in the show notes. You'll click details or swipe up. This is definitely an episode you're going to want to flag and hear all of. Here's Miranda.
I've never run a marathon. That sounds crazy to me. And if I'm a person who hasn't run ever or in years, like I can't just go find a cool like marathon program online and start with like day 1, 5 miles or 10 miles or whatever it is. Like go walk 1 mile first and build consistency with, okay, like every day for a week, I walked a mile and now I'm going to try to jog the first 400 meters. Like you've got to build up slow. And, but people think, well, if I can't jump right into the 5 to 10 miles on day 1, like what's the point? I'm never going to be able to do it. And they just give up.
All right, you want to begin where it's appropriate, like Miranda said, but then you also don't want to begin in too many places. I can't wait for you to hear this next clip from my guest, Adam Mendler of the 30-Minute Mentors podcast. This is from season 2, episode 55, and listen to what he says about realistic goal setting and focusing on things one at a time.
The most important thing to understand about setting goals is you need to set goals that, firstly, don't set too many goals. You need to set enough goals that you can actually focus on them. So if you say, I'm going to do these 5 things, and they're 5 huge things, you're not going to get around to doing any of them because it's going to be so overwhelming. You need to set 2 goals or 1 goal. At most, set 3 goals. I even think that's too much. Set a couple of very clear goals, and the goals you should set should be ambitious, should be aspirational, but shouldn't be so unbelievably out of reach. Your goal shouldn't be that I'm gonna dunk on a 12-foot basket, because I'm never gonna. Anyone who knows me and has played basketball with me knows that I'm never gonna dunk on a 12-foot basket. If your goal is to say that I'm going to have a podcast that is going to inspire thousands of people, tens of thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people, do it. Set that goal. Make it happen. Why not? You could do it. It's hard. It's hard work. Trust me, it's really hard. The only way it's going to happen is if you do it. If you don't set the goals and you don't focus on reaching them, you're never going to make it happen for yourself.
Now, in the intro to this episode, you heard me say successful goal setters and achievers write it down. Here's Jen Gerasimus of 7 Core Wellness from season 2, episode 24. And she talks about how to break our important goals down. In this setting, she's talking about health and wellness goals and how writing it down is key.
It's because some people get overwhelmed with the amount of changes they have to make. So if we can just take more broadly speaking of like, okay, yeah, I've got habits I know I need to remove, but habits I need to put in. The system in order to do that is like, okay, I can get overwhelmed by the changes that I'm thinking I need to make. So actually writing all of that down can be kind of like, okay, all right, I've written all that down, the changes I need to make. Now I'm going to pick 1 to 2 that I want to focus on. And so taking the one like, okay, I know I need to stop snacking and eating at nighttime, okay, that's my one I'm going to focus on for like 4 weeks. Because also the thing about it is like, okay, people want to make things sustainable. So how can we make this sustainable? And part of that again is the focus on something for a longer amount of time. And so you pick that habit, 1 to 2 habits, I don't want to snack late at night. And now you're going to focus on, okay, 1 week at a time.
All right, we are talking about writing things down. We are tactical. We are in the weeds on planning. Season 2, episode 37. Julia Lefebvre talked about having a 30-day time frame for practical goals and the value of time audits to assure you can reach those goals. Here's Julia.
I have sort of my routine and I have tools that help me stay on track with what those priorities are. What is the goal that I'm working towards? So this works whether you have a business or not. You know, what is it something that you're working on right now? So I use a push journal, and that helps me focus. Every day I'm reminded of what's that goal I'm working on over the next 30 days. And then I have my 3 tasks written down on there that I have to accomplish that day. There are 3 tasks that help me towards that push goal. And then it also gives me the opportunity to put in my day. Like, what am I doing every hour, every half hour during the day? So I can schedule in things. It allows me to see the week at a glance and how I'm spending my time as well, and making sure that I am, staying on track. And by looking at it too, it allows me not to overfill my day. So avoid that overwhelm. So I can keep those 3 tasks in there on my schedule as well. So that really helps.
Now, y'all, I know who agrees with Jen about writing things down for health and wellness, and that is my guest from season 3, episode 11, Amy Glenn. In Amy's episode about making time for running as a mother, she talked a lot about how having that schedule, having it written down, and just having something to follow and be accountable to was helpful to her in achieving her virtual half marathon.
I guess it's not really my thing. I don't sign up for the races for the medal and all of that. I sign up for the races for me personally, for the training aspect, but also to kind of be amongst all of the other people and all of the other runners, and to push myself and to really see, how far and how fast that I can go. And so when this actually went to virtual, I was a little bummed, ran the distance, did better than I expected, and was able to actually pick up my medal in person yesterday for the event that did get postponed. Moved virtual.
Well, now there's a birthday present. I love what you're saying, though, Amy, about, for you, of course you want the race. Of course you do. Mm-hmm. But for you, a big part of it is that training component. It's opening up said calendar where you have it scheduled in to know what your workout's going to be.
Yes. And like I said, that was something that, I could go out and do a 3-mile run here, a 5-mile run there and such, but I never felt motivated to go out and do it so much. And it just depends on kind of where I'm at in my life. If I've been doing a lot of races, or, if I need some motivation to kind of keep up with the running and such. And a race plan or a training plan is like an appointment to me. It's, I've got it on the calendar. This is exactly what I need to do. And that's what I really loved about training for this past summer.
Here's a new segment from Carissa Quaddy at changeyourfinances.com about goal setting around money. Now, this is something, though, that I want you to listen up, because she talks about prioritizing things within a budget. And I think that this can be transferred into whatever goal you have, be it something for your personal, professional development, or your health and wellness, or your fitness, or perhaps you yourself are setting a budget. Listen how she talks about prioritizing for things and then deciding where to put additional finances. And in your case, it might be time. If you want to find Carissa, you can find her at changeyourfinances.com. And thank you so much, Carissa, for coming on for a new segment in this Mommy Masterclass.
Now, I love a prioritized budget, which is where you take your income and all of your expenses, your bills, your debt payments, any savings goals, everything has to be listed down in order of priority. And the goal is to have your income minus all of your expenses equals 0. So you have intentionally decided where every single dollar of your income goes. Now, one thing that made an incredible difference in how I approach budgeting and money, and actually became more successful about budgeting, was taking 4 essentials and putting them at the very top of your budget. Those 4 things are food, because how many of us put food as the last thing and we get to week 3 and we don't have money for food? So food goes first. Second, lights and water. Third, housing. And 4th, transportation. Then after that, you ask yourself, if I only have money for one more thing, what do I put next? So you do that all the way down. But the reason these 4 essentials at the top of your budget is so important is because your family's basic needs are taken care of. And when your family's basic needs are taken care of, you can breathe.
Yeah, it occurs to me that, obviously this show is for fitness-minded moms. We talk a lot about wellness topics. It occurs to me that this is a wellness topic. We're talking about stress reduction right now.
Oh, yes. And it's a wellness topic. It affects every area of your life. The fitness goals that you have, that is affected by nutrition. That's affected by your sleep, right?
Yeah.
Your money touches all of those. Because when you have debt so much that you can't breathe, you're not sleeping at night.
Right.
When you are not able to have enough money to pay for groceries at the end of the month, you're eating like ramen. And that's not good for you as a fitness mom.
Thank you so much to the many guests that have come on Run Lift Mom, and especially these ladies that contributed to the Mommy Masterclass on goal setting. It was one of my goals when I began this podcast in February 2019 to do interviews with people who inspire me, and I have done over 100 and counting, and you just heard many of them. Thank you, ladies, for taking us through preparation, ensuring that we have the right goal, and then, of course, how to deploy the habits to hit those goals. If you will look in your show notes, you're either going to click details or swipe up. You are going to see the full episode for each of these contributors. I hope you will go back and listen to a guest that got you excited or inspired. I know this was fun for me to walk back through. And until I get in your earpiece again, remember, for while bodily training is of some value, godliness is of value in every way, as it holds promise for the present life and also for the life to come. That's from 1 Timothy 4:8, and this has been the Run Lift Mom podcast. Thank you for listening to Run Lift Mom. I am so excited to offer a special discount to listeners of this show, and you're not going to find it anywhere else, so commit it to memory. Use the discount code RLM at checkout on my Alouette site to receive 15% off your order. You're going to go to alouette.com/runliftmom, and you can find that linked in the show notes. But remember, because this isn't in the show notes, the code RLM is only for people hearing my voice right now. You're going to save 15% off your order using RLM. And yes, this can be stacked with other gift with purchase or BOGO discounts.